And when I heard the guns go off, then I knew it was the real deal.
The Terre Haute community reacted to a police standoff that lasted more than 20 hours. Good evening and thanks for joining us. 2 people are dead. 1 man is critically injured, but expected to live in connection to this incident.
Terre Haute police responded to a shooting on Putnam Street. That shooting left 40-year-old Amanda Kearns dead and another man seriously injured.
New for you tonight at 6. In a press conference just hours ago today, Terre Haute Police Chief John Plassey said a victim identified the shooter as Mikey Reynolds. However, tonight authorities say they are waiting on positive identification. News 10's John Swanner joins us now live from 4th Avenue. That's where the standoff eventually came to an end. He joins us now with the latest on the investigation.
Patrice Rondrell, we'll get back to this home behind me on 4th Avenue in just a second, but first let's take you just down the street to 1st Avenue, and that is where police followed Mikey Reynolds, or who they think was Mikey Reynolds. And 26 minutes after the incident on Putnam Street, that's when shots were fired on police by the suspect. And that's when the standoff began, and we learned in a news conference that a sniper shot the suspect, but not fatally. In fact, the suspect still managed to break police perimeter and move from 1st Avenue to the home on 4th Avenue. Someone approached police and told them that the suspect had moved. From there, state police SWAT officers surrounded the home. The suspect went out of the home's back door and engaged officers. They returned fire, killing the suspect.
Well, we didn't know actually he was gone. We assumed he was still in the house, and we did everything we could to try to get him out of that house. We were on the assumption he was still there, and so luckily we had tips from the public that led to his whereabouts, and I'm thankful for that because who knows who else he would have targeted.
Now, the person that lives in this 4th Avenue home is an acquaintance of the suspect, according to police. And they also say the suspect was wearing black, had on body armor, and fired at least 200 rounds on city police. That information all coming from Police Chief John Plassey. Now, we have team coverage for you tonight. Lacey Clifton talked to Indiana State Police. She joins us live in the newsroom with more. Lacey.
Now, just as residents are asked to stay in their homes or out of harm's way, us members of the media are no different. And when it comes to a situation like today, it just goes to show you why law enforcement officials are so careful when it comes to crime scenes. What started as a regular News 10 interview,
say and spell your name,
Joe Watts, WTHI-TV.
became very tense very quickly.
I'm sure there's more than 100 officers that have responded through today.
While interviewing Indiana State Police Sergeant Joe Watts about the number of officers involved in a 20-plus hour standoff, shots rang out.
Do not move from here, okay?
Those shots are what police say ended the standoff.
We like to safely take our suspects into custody, but it appears today this was not going to be a successful conclusion.
After the scene was secure again, I reached back out to Sergeant Watts about the incident.
You know, I've been around gunfire throughout my 32 years with the Indiana State Police, but this is the first time doing public information duties that I've been doing an actual interview and gunfire exchange at that particular time.
He says it's proof that danger can come into play at any minute. That's why safety is always a top priority.
That's why we want people off the sidewalks. That's why we want people inside their homes. You know, people want to come out and they want to gaze and see what's going on and all the normal nosy things. But this is exactly why we want people inside their homes and why we want people vacated from the scene. Gunfire can break out at any minute.
And while talking with Watts after the scene was secure, he was able to confirm for me that he estimates around 100 to 150 officers had been on scene for that 20-plus hour standoff. And for now, reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Lacey Clifton for News 10.
Very glad you're safe there, Lacey. Well, as the 20-hour-long standoff continued, many people were either trapped inside or outside of their homes. News 10 spoke with neighbors at the scene today. They called the standoff a, quote, terrifying experience. They also said having the police presence made them feel a lot safer.
The officers, state troopers and stuff were coming down to the first 3 or 4 immediate houses on the opposite side of the street where I reside to check and make sure that none of us were hit, that we were okay.
And it was well protected. I mean, the officers were out in force. I mean, I felt safe with them here.
The Vigo County coroner just told News 10 Amanda Kearns died from a single gunshot wound to the abdomen. The male victim, in the meantime, was shot several times. At this time, he is expected to live. Police are not yet releasing, or they have released in a press conference, the name of the suspect, but they are not confirming it at this hour. News 10 will, of course, continue to follow any changes to this story.